You note it and next class you can ask. This one done now. Okay. Copied, copied now. Pass hard disk to another. Later I will show you how to install. Don't worry. Or if you can install, install VMbox first. VMbox is there. Already installed. Then image is there. Create Linux. So yesterday we have seen till here genome terminal. What exactly is a genome terminal? So this genome terminal is a graphical terminal similar to our command prompt. Okay. So let us see parallelly what is happening here. Device optical remove machine reset. Next is changing your password. If you want to change your own password, whether you are a root user or a normal user. So here root is the administrator. Okay. In Windows, the administrator is administrator. In Linux, administrator is root. And when we talk about the power, difference between the power which it holds. In Windows, administrator cannot delete operating system files. Lot of things if administrator is trying to do, it will give the warning. But here for the root, there is no warning. If root wants to do anything, he can do. If you have set any permission that this is my file, I can only access the file, no one can access. But there is a one person who can access is root. For root, there is a no rule, no policy. That's why we say root as a super user. Okay. So there will be two type of user, super user root or normal user. Okay. So if you want to change your password, you have to use command passwd, not password, passwd. Linux is a case sensitive operating system. So if you are going to type any command, that command, if it is in a small letter, you have to type in a small letter. If it is in capital, then capital. If the file name is in capital letter, you have to type capital, then only you will be able to open. If you give in a small, it will give error, file folder not found. Okay. So that is the thing. So passwd command, we will see how to change the password with the passwd. So when you type only passwd enter, it will ask current password, new password and confirm password. For whom? For normal user. For root user, it will not ask current password. It will directly ask new password. So passwd is the command to change the password for all. Next is root user is also known as super user. Like you have seen Shaktiman and other Superman shows. There what he do? He can do anything. Similarly here root can do anything. That's why we say it as a super user. Okay. So root has near complete control over the system and it can do unlimited damage to your system. So that's why it is recommended not to log in with root user unless necessary. Why? Because you know we are human being and we are very irresponsible also. You can see in your house even when you are working on your laptop. So how many times you log and then you leave your place? You don't log. Most of the time you will leave as it is open and you will move. Inside the house even. So same behavior will be there in the corporate. So corporate you have logged in with the root. You left unattended and suddenly you went somewhere. for some call or anything, and if your colleague, he found your system unattended and he want you to get fired, what he will do? He can do anything. Root privilege is there, and you are accountable for that. Company will say it's your laptop, you have done this all, you have the root password. Okay, so that's why it is suggested not to log in with the root unless necessary. Means what? We should switch to root, log in with the normal user, like I'm Tanvir, I will log in with Tanvir, then I will switch to root, perform the administrative task, again log out, and I will be logged in with a normal user. Okay, and it is always a best practice, we should lock the system and then move from the place. But sometimes it happens we miss. To avoid that situation, it is always suggested not to log in with the root. Whenever you need to perform any task, switch, log in, and then log out. Okay, so when we talk about switch user, we have option here SU. So what does this switch user means? Switch user means currently I am logged in with Tanvir, I have opened multiple tabs, multiple programs. If I log out, means it will close everything, then it will log out. If I switch from one user to another, then it will be as it is, just like a lock, and it will log in with another user. I will perform my task, and from that user I will log out, and when I come back, my task will be as it is opened. So for that purpose, we switch user instead of log out. Okay. As a normal user, I am working and suddenly I have to perform some administrative task. So instead of log out and re-log in with the root, I can switch user, log in with the root, perform the task, log out, come back to my own user account. Okay. So for SU, sorry. So here I am going to log in with normal user. Copied. Where is the hard disk now? You copied already, na? Copying. Okay. After that, ask whoever needs, pass the hard disk. So there is a one folder in hard disk, Linux software. When you open it, copy that Linux software folder, and accordingly you can. Those who have already installed, no need to copy. Now here, let us start from the beginning, all the practical. So when you log in, it will give you the welcome screen. And this is for help. Now let us start from the beginning, that is Linux 2. Here I have said we can log in with username and password, we have already done. Switching between terminals. So see what are the commands we have here. I want to switch from here to another terminal. Alt Control F3. After this you can see I came to command line console. Alt Control F3, F4, F5, F6, F7 and so on. I am going to log in here with root. I can log in with normal user also. Here. How I can see I am on which terminal? For that we have command TTY. So I am on which terminal here? User. Which terminal? Terminal number? Terminal 3. TTY3 is written there or not? So like this we can identify on which terminal currently we are logged in. Clear? If you want to see who am I, okay, in case of memory loss, it will help you who you are. Okay. Now, where am I? Present working directly. PWD. You are in the root home folder slash, like in Windows we have C drive, here it is forward slash, which we say as a root partition. On the root partition we have a folder root. Clear this one? TTY to verify the terminal. Who am I to see the current logged in username, and PWD in which folder I am currently. So if you create any file and folder and you don't define the path to save, where it will be saved. So that we can check with the command pwd. Okay. Now the next. Done. I want to go back on graphical terminal. Alt Control F2. I am working on this graphical desktop. I have to execute some commands. For that, what is the solution? Activities, and here is the option terminal. Like we have the command prompt in Windows. Okay, activities and terminal. On command line console, you cannot increase the font size, but here you can increase or decrease the font size. Control Shift plus equal to. Okay, or Control minus just next to that to decrease the font size. Here I want to see who am I? PWD. So I told you for every user there is a separate home folder. So for root the home folder name was root. For Tanveer the home folder name is Tanveer inside the folder home. Okay. And where I am? TTY. It is writing PTS0. PTS means pseudo terminal. PSEUDO. Pseudo terminal. PTS. Okay. So PTS stands for pseudo terminal. Done. Pseudo terminal. So this switching between virtual consoles, graphical environment is done. Now here we have to play with genome terminal, graphical terminal. What to play? Here in this graphical terminal, you are able to see there is a one terminal. This terminal is busy. I am copying very long file. So meanwhile, what I have to do? I have to wait. Once the prompt is free, then I will type the command. Correct? Instead, what I can do? Control Shift T. I'll open a new tab, and here I can execute my next commands whatever I want. So what is the command? Sorry, key Control Shift T to open the new tab, or here you can see there is a plus button. That also you can click and open your new terminals. How many terminals you want, you can open. And accordingly, just like browser, you are switching by clicking on every tab. You can click and switch. And if you don't want to use mouse, then you have this solution. Control Shift T, create a new tab. control page up, page down, switch to next and previous tab. Okay, and shift page up, page down to scroll the screen. Some of the output has gone up, so you want to scroll the screen. Then you can use shift page up and page down. Okay, is it clear till here? Any confusion? So this facility of opening a new tab is available only in graphical terminal or genome terminal. But on command line console, like you are on terminal 3, 4 and you are trying these all things, it will not work there. This is changing your password. So let us change password. As a normal user, Tanveer, I am using passwd. See the change. What it is asking? Current password. Then new password. I have given same password as old. That's why. So means overall you can change the password using command passwd. Same thing if I try with root. Here is the root user. If root want to change his password, passwd, is it asking current password? Directly new password. So you can see the risk. If someone knows the IP address of Linux server and he found your laptop open and you are logged in with root, directly he will change the password and he will go. And from his own laptop he can do whatever he wants. Understood? He don't need current password. Now SU, switch user. Currently I am logged in with Tanveer and clear command to clear the screen. Okay. To clear the screen we have command clear. In Windows same we have CLS on command prompt. Only 43. Okay. I want to log in with root. I have some work. SU enough. No need to write root. This password which it is asking, that is for root. Now you type who am I? Understood? So related to SU, once we have done any administrative command and now I want to exit, where I am currently again. Then we, if a normal user is going to use SU, root password required, means when he types SU, system will log in with root, it needs root password. If he types SU Arun, which password will required? Arun password required. So if you specify the username, it will log in with that user, else it will log in with root. When you are trying with the normal user. Now let us talk about root user. So as you know, root does not need to log in with root. So root will log in with normal user. So if root is going to write SU Arun, which password will be required? Huh? But this is the power of root. Understood? So if root want, he can log in with your ID without your password. No password is required. Okay. So this is the difference. So make it as a note. Who is going to log in and what type of password is required. In case of normal user, if you type only su means you want to log in with root, su space username, then a specific user. But for root, no password is required, you can log in with any user. So every time whenever we need to execute any command with the root, it's a better practice to switch user. Okay. But here in our class, we will log in directly with the root. Done this one, su. Okay. Now the next is sudo. So what is the use of sudo? It is used to provide administrative rights to normal user. So sudo is used for providing administrative rights to normal user. Copy software parallelly. Once the class is over, I will show you here the options to install, and parallelly you will install in your laptops. So the question is why we need to give administrative rights to a normal user. Instead, we can share the root password. Suppose we two are working in the same company, in the same department. So we both definitely will be a friend, good friend. So we can share the password directly now. Hmm? I am overloaded. I am going for some work. So I can give you the root password. Please perform this task. Then why I need to give rights to you instead? Tell me the reason. Why I can't directly share you the root password instead of giving the rights? Hmm? When we work together, we become a good friend. And when we are a good friend, we are going for party together, tea break, everything. Then instead of doing these all things, directly I will share you this is the password. Whenever these things you have to do, use it. Hmm? Why we don't share the password, instead we give the rights? What is the reason? I know you are very talented. You are working with me, and then just to offload my load, I am overloaded with the task, and there is something urgent need to perform. I have also have some work to personal work to do, some urgent work. So I will take your help. I will share the root password and I will go do my work. What is the problem in that? Huh? My question is why I can't share? What will be the problem if I share? Then next day I'll give one slap. Hey, you have changed the password. Tell me what is the password. Simple. We do in the friendship, right? The problem is no one is friend in the corporate. That is the fact. Everyone is in the race. Okay. He will go with in the party everywhere with you. He will look like a very good friend. Maybe they will be, they not. But most of the friendship which is done inside the company, that is completely professional relationship. Okay. So it is suggested not to discuss any personal things with your colleague at your workplace because you both are in the same race. Understood? So never trust your colleague. Never ever. That is the fact. Else you will have the disadvantage. What will happen? He will show his own caliber in front of the boss. I have done this. Or sometimes he will show you down also in front of boss. So he needs some point to prove that this mistake you have done. And I have corrected, so just to get a promotion or any type of thing. Or sometimes you have said something just in a joke and you want to take a revenge. That point he can use these things as a tool. Company has given you the rights to perform these all administrative tasks. So you are responsible. You have shared the password to your friend, but in front of management he will refuse. No, I have not done. So how you will prove? Correct? Because root account you are only authorized to use. And if you have shared with your friend and if he denies, then in front of management, you will be the accountable for this all activity, whatever he has done. You will be responsible. So that is the reason we don't share the root password. Instead, if required his help, we give administrative rights. Advantage, when you do any changes, there are the logs, event logs. This person logged in at this time and he has executed these commands. So using these logs, we can track. But if we share the root password, there it will show root has logged in on this time. So who is the root here? So officially you are responsible, so you will be accountable. So that is the reason we don't share passwords. Instead, we give the rights. Clear? So sudo is used to provide administrative rights. So as of now, Tanvir is a normal user. So if you want to do any administrative task, then he will type command user add. Suppose you want to create a user Hari. Permission denied. So who can give administrative rights to Tanvir? Root. Normal user cannot give. So let us log in with root. Now I have logged in with root. To give administrative rights, vi sudo. This is the command. Vi is edited here and sudo. So basically there is a file, sudo file. We say it as a sudoer file, sudoer file. So using this command, we edit that file. We do the entries which user can perform which type of task. So the command is vi sudo. Okay. Now here in this file, what I am going to do, scroll down somewhere you will find user machine equal to all. Sorry, machine equal to command. We found here now. User machine equal to commands. And there you will find one line, root all equal to all. Means root user can execute on all machine all the commands. Okay. So here we have to come. Our cursor should be near to the root. Okay, in that line. And then we have to press small o. Small o for what? To add one line below and insert something. So what we have to press? Small o. But make sure your cursor should be in the root word or in that line. Now here I want to give rights to Tanveer. So I will write exactly in the same format. Press tab. Done. Understood? Or another option is we can copy that line and paste it. Then after that also we have to go change the name instead of root Tanveer. So better we can type. Once you have typed, then press escape. Okay, escape, then colon. So when you press colon, it will come in the bottom. WQ, W for save, Q to exit. Escape colon WQ. Now it's done. Understood? So same entry, how it is done for root, I have to do for Tanveer also. Once I have done this, I will exit from the root user. And why I am using CD every time? CD to return home folder. Okay, this CD command. Else, I am logged in with Tanveer, and previously I was in suppose Arun. So when I switch user, user will switch, but folder will not switch. So when we use CD, I will come to my home folder, means current login home folder. Now, again Tanveer is trying to add user. You see, he is not able to. Then what is the advantage of giving permission? Means the permission you cannot use directly. You have to give the reference. Sudo. I have rights from sudo. It will ask, what is your password? It is Tanveer password. Now the user is created. Now Tanveer want to set password for Hari. So sudo pass wd. Every time when he execute administrative commands, he has to give reference from where he has the rights. Sudo command. Sudo pass wd Hari. So he is going to set password for Hari. Okay. So now if he is going to try login with Hari, you can see he is able to. Okay. So I hope till here things are clear. Any confusion? Now the next after this, that is a command ID. Okay. So we have seen sudo su and the next command is ID. So what is the use of ID? If you want to see user ID, group ID, you are member of which groups, you will use command ID. So you can see user ID 1000, group ID 1000, and he is member of Tanveer group. In Linux, when you create a user, one private group with the same name will be created. Okay, so that's why you can see Tanveer here as a group name also, and by default that user will be member of that group. Okay, so that's why it is showing here. Suppose I want to check what is the ID of Hari. User ID, group ID, and he is member of which group. So this information we can see with the command id. Only id will show your id space username, id for that specific user. Clear? In Linux, if you want to complete the command, type initial letters, press tab, it will complete. Username, type initial, but not at the time of login. You are changing password or you are changing login name or anything you are doing, and the username is very long. Instead of typing, you press tab after typing initial letters, it will complete. File folder name, type initial letters, press tab, it will complete. Okay. Whatever commands you have executed, you want to see. So Linux store last 1000 executed commands. Okay, history of last 1000 executed commands. So if you want to see the history, you have to use command history. It will show you all the commands what you have executed till now. And if you want to see only last 10, 20, whatever number you give, it will show accordingly. So history command will show you history of last executed commands. If you want a specific number, then history space that number. And total how many commands it can store? 1000. Done? Okay, so next class, just remind me, we will start from text editors. Okay, so you'll see the text editor first.